Well, I've gone ahead and removed this water pump because the bearings were toast, and I thought I'd go ahead and show what the inside of this block looks like after doing the thermocure treatment. And so that's what it looks like. Surface of the moon. I'm not sure exactly what to say about this. You see that black smudge there in the center? That's where I touched it. So it certainly has dissolved a lot of the rust and turned into sort of this calcified, I don't know what. I can't really describe it, but it's very soft. So if you do touch it, it just comes right off. But yeah, that's what the inside of the block looks like after doing all that work with the thermocure. Interesting stuff. Well, I've got the parts here from the water pump, fan and pulley, and I bolt the new pump onto the car, and the pump spins freely and smooth and true. But I've noticed that this stamped tin pulley still has a bit of a wobble to it. So I thought I'd take all the parts off and give them a clean, and then reassemble it to see if I can make the wobble go away. And I just noticed that these spacers are not flat. So you can see that these two holes have a high spot to them. And on the back side, just this outer edge. And on this one, it's mostly flat, except it's a little low here. When you look at the back side, it's very high on this edge. And then when you look at the pulley itself, the whole thing is sort of dished inwards. So none of this upper surface even is remotely close to being flat. So it's no wonder I'm struggling to get this pulley to run true. None of the parts are flat themselves. So if you guys are having problems with your pulleys wobbling, take a look at your spacers and your pulley itself, because it could be a combination of just the pulley or the spacers being not square, causing the pulley to sit in a weird way against the pump. But I thought I'd show you guys this interesting problem that I've run into today. Well, we're all back together. This was an interesting one. So I had to do the water pump replacement, and I had issues with the pulley fitting on the pump with the spacers that were in there. It seemed like the spacers were no longer necessary with this new style pump. This is the one with the plastic impeller on it. But anyway, I ended up taking a spacer out of there, and it brought the alignment of the belt back towards the body of the block a little bit more. And so ultimately my spacer that was here was no longer needed because everything moved back towards the block a bit. So yeah, very interesting that the new pump had a slightly different position for the pulley. But hey, that's why we got to check belt alignment every single time we do anything with an alternator or a water pump. Always recheck your belt alignment. Other than that, everything else went fairly smoothly. Got the radiator back in place, hoses, all that stuff's back together. So at this point, it's time to put coolant back in it and get it fired up, and then do some leak tests and take it out for a test drive and see how it behaves. But so far, I'm pretty pleased with the way this went. I would have rather have not had changed that water pump out, but such is life, as they say. So yeah, take it out for a test drive and see what happens. It's going to be the next step. Well, I'm back from the test drive, and everything seems to be A-OK. All of the coolant systems working properly. Temperature gauge came up to operating temperature quickly. Radiator seemed fine. Didn't seem to be overheating or anything weird. So I haven't seen any leaks. And yeah, I think this is pretty much ready to go back to the customer. Hopefully it doesn't have to suffer any weird, tragic cooling issues in the future after doing all this work. But yeah, I'm going to call this a win. This was a lot of fun to drive this car, especially with that sliding roof. Having that open during the day, that was really nice. So if you guys thought this video was interesting or helpful, let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.